Frothy rain!
1984 proved to be a successful year for the birth of visual kei. The subculture was in its infancy, birthing new trends and genre staples with every new band and release. On June 20th, however, something new would be born. Someone who would soon rock the genre to its very core. Welcome to a brief history of Golden Bomber and Kiryuin Show. Hello friends! Today I would like to discuss the unsung genius that is Kiryuin Show and Golden Bomber. I feel like people often brush off Golden Bomber as a talentless joke band, so I wanted to talk about how I believe that that's not true and how they, especially Kiryuin, put a lot more effort into their work than most people think. So, let's go! Kiryuin, also known as Kirisho by his fans, grew up in the height of visual kei. The 90s saw a rise of so many artists doing so many new things that would soon become staples of the vkei genre. In 1998, 4 bands were dubbed the Big Four of visual kei: Phonetic Crisis, Shazna, Lacrima Christi, and of course, Malice Miser. So, Kirisho was extremely lucky to be a teen in this time. Seeing these bands must have been very inspiring for him as a young musician. Malice Miser's Gact in particular became Kirisho's muse. He idolized him as a teen and still cites him today as one of his biggest musical influences. So in 1999, Kirisho would send a letter to Gact's radio show asking for a chance to be called on. And miraculously, he was actually called back. I believe the interview with Sho on Gact's radio show just shows how much potential he had as a comedian, even at the very young age of 15.
じゃあね、僕宇宙人だよっていうショーに、宇宙人の証明、おなら出せますって。すごい自信だ。急に変わるんだ。
I do recommend listening to the full clip. It's hilarious, and Kirisho has great presence for being just 15. So, as we've established, Kirisho has always had a love and talent for both comedy and music. So in 2004, he decided to start a band with his friend Kian Yutaka, who he'd performed with at the Teen Music Festival when they were both 19. This early version of Golden Bomber was rough, and there really isn't that much information out there about the band at this stage, except they were not very popular. They began as a real band, playing instruments and such, but after learning that Kian lacked sufficient talent, they had the genius idea to market Golden Bomber as an air band. While Kirisho would still sing and write the songs, the rest of the band would sort of mock playing instruments and put on a performance instead of actually playing. After recruiting Jun Utahiroba as their bassist and Dankichi Tenkujo as their drummer via internet ads, the band now had a full lineup and was ready to produce their first single. Dakishimete Schwartz was the first of 5 consecutive singles released by Golden Bomber in 2007. Their career did not skyrocket, but they did get a fair bit of traction for these songs, and their shows became a little bit more popular. In 2008, Tatsuo from the band Everset saw a show and was skeptical, stating, "I saw a showy guy in the dressing room and was looking at him like, again, some dull, showy band will be performing." But seeing the show the band was able to put on completely changed his view. Golden Bomber was not simply a flashy visual kei band, but an experience. The catchiness of the songs, Kirisho's skills as a singer, the members' whole energy, I was overwhelmed by it, Tatsuo says. He requested to meet up with the band the next day, and they set up a deal to be produced with the help of Tatsuo. Golden Bomber was not an overnight success story, however. It took a great deal of time, effort, and money to get audiences on board with the ridiculous concept for this band. I really don't think people realize how much soul and passion went into making Bomber what it is today. As Tatsuo states, these guys are different from the others. With all their might, they expose themselves as far as their dirty parts. With all their might, they make plans. With all their might, they enjoy. With all their might, they earnestly create music. With all their might, they value their fans. This is what it's like being Golden Bomber for 24 hours a day. So the band was having a fairly slow start until 2009, when one fateful single would be released.
Music. 2009 年
Golden Bomber's seventh single, Memishkite, was released on October 21st, 2009. I would call this single less of a song and more of a cultural phenomenon. This single was the first to introduce music videos to Golden Bomber, as well as being one of the first to include the band's new drummer, Kenji Darvish. These two advents in the Bomberverse signified revolutionary change for the band. For one, Kenji added a much more ridiculous personality to the band, adding to their comedic effect and overall performance. Secondly, this song was the beginning of Golden Bomber's iconic music videos, being the first of many to paint the band's ridiculous personalities on screen. Memishkite became the top karaoke song on the Oricon charts for 50 consecutive weeks after its release, passing AKB48's Heavy Rotation. It's now a staple in rhythm games, first appearing in Jubeat Plus, but now in a plethora of other rhythm games. Golden Bomber also performed Memishkite on New Year's Eve 4 years in a row between 2012 and 2015. So Golden Bomber has an extensive history and culture, and I feel like that's just a little too much to include in one video, so I've compiled a list of the basic need-to-knows regarding the fan culture around Golden Bomber, as well as the image of the band. Vkei is a synchronized dance done by audiences at concerts. It's a staple of any visual kei band, and Golden Bomber is no exception to this. Their Vkei is intense and often very ridiculous. Everything is choreographed by Utahiro Bajun, and he actually has many tutorials on the Golden Bomber YouTube channel on how to do some of the Vkei, and they're very entertaining. So during guitar solos at live shows, Kian Yutaka will instead perform some impossible or stupid challenge during the time that the solo is happening. He's tried to eat an entire watermelon, cooked fried rice, or my favorite, ran off stage to take a bath during some of his solos. Kirisho wears this one Tamiya plastic models t-shirt a lot. Even though he wears it so often, he stated he doesn't have that much of a connection to Tamiya and he just really likes the design. This one's pretty self-explanatory. His teeth are really far apart and spaced out. It's his most distinct trait, and it's often mimicked in official art and merchandise of him. So in many Golden Bomber music videos and live performances, Kenji is shown to have relations with other men. His gag often consists of him being partially or fully nude and flirting with other guys in the music videos. Kenji is also known for his kabuki face paint, which he has hardly ever been seen without except in his work in other bands. Was just a little bit into the world of Golden Bomber and why I believe they deserve a bit more credit than they're given. Kirisho has a lot of passion for what he's doing, and while yes, they are a joke band, the amount of love and dedication that it took to get Golden Bomber into the mainstream is no joke at all. Kirisho's writing is hilarious. The videos are so clever, and the band does so much more outside just being a band. I think their approach to being a band is also so creative. In Kirisho's own words, people often say an air rock band becoming popular signals that Japanese music is dead. But I think creating and performing by a set of rules is a much surer way to kill music.